Welcome to my final Big Bang Theory Season 12 episode review video, the series finale of the Big Bang Theory. It's been a journey. I started this journey on November 20th of 2021 with his review videos, and now we've reached the end. Before I give my review, though, if you're not caught up to the point where I am every once you're watching the Big Bang Theory, every single episode of the Big Bang Theory, then I highly recommend that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be the Big Bang Theory, Season 12, Episode 24. The title of this episode is called The Stockholm Syndrome. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So 2 months after receiving Sheldon and Amy's Nobel Prize news, Sheldon and Leonard are seen repairing the DNA model after 139.5 hours of work. Leonard actually found it enjoyable. Sheldon constructed the model as a genetic code for an advanced race of human beings. And Sheldon reveals it's one of his rare failures, as the balls kept sticking to his pants. Penny and Amy come back from the tailors with dresses they're going to wear to the Nobel Prize ceremony in Stockholm, Sweden. Amy's dress had to be let in a bit, and Penny's, surprisingly, had to be let out, which delighted Amy. Penny thanked her friends for the clothes and the airline tickets. Amy explains that it was so important for their friends to share the moment with them. And then Sheldon and Amy go back to their apartment. And then as soon as they leave, Leonard asks Penny if Amy suspected anything on why she needed her dress let out. No, Penny is expecting. All that talk about not wanting to have kids, and now Penny in the finale is pregnant. And then Leonard is thrilled, though Penny hasn't yet wrapped her head around it. Leonard feels wrapped. Penny quipes that if they would have wrapped something, they wouldn't be in this situation. Also, she is not ready to tell her friends. It happened after she went drinking with Sheldon 2 months ago when they went to the Cheesecake Factory. She wanted to have sex, and Leonard agreed to it. And then presently they decide to do it now, which Penny has no issue agreeing to since she can't get any more pregnant. Bernadette is talking with Neil Michael about going away for a few days as she picks him up. Howard brings in Hallie, who is a big girl and just went on the potty. They feel good about leaving them with Stuart and Denise, though Bernadette hopes she doesn't miss Neil's first words, or in Howard's case, Stuart's last words. It's the first time in years that they will be away alone together in their hotel on their big bed. They plan to sleep their asses off. Raj is leaving Cinnamon in the care of Bert. Bert's a great character. He hopes that he can attract girls with her. Bert also states he'll get another one just like her in case she dies on him. Just kidding. Bert will just tell a worried Raj that she died if she does. Amy is in her dress and tops it off with her tiara. Sheldon begins reading his speech very fast to get it under 1.5 hours. Amy suggests cutting the story of his childhood, even though he put it in to relate to everyone. He also lists lots of people who said he'd never win a Nobel Prize. He figured that they would rue the day that he wants to make sure that they are filled with rue. Amy feels that the Nobel Prize should be accepted with humility. However, Sheldon thinks that humility is for all those other Nobel Prize category, peace, chemistry, literature, and not one for physics, which displeases Amy. Before heading to the airport at their pre-trip meeting, Sheldon explains that they are all ambassadors for him and Amy, and they must be on their best behavior. Amy gives them tips on how to interact with the Swedish people, be punctual, shake everyone's hand when social events start and are completed. Sheldon reminds Penny to watch her alcohol intake since it's free on the plane in business class. Penny says she won't be drinking. Why? Bernadette asks. Is she pregnant? No. She just doesn't want to drink when she flies. Bernadette points out that Penny would drink anywhere, including in the shower. They get ready to leave and try to find various ways to get people and luggage into the elevator, working for the first time in years. Finally, though, Leonard's suggestion, the luggage goes down the elevator by itself and the gang ends up walking down the stairs for the last time. On the plane, Bernadette is doing fine watching Jack Reacher movies until Howard mentions how they are getting further and further away from their children. So she knows that everything is fine, so the Force is with her, asks Howard. Bernadette uses the Jedi mind trick to make him stop annoying the woman. Raj suspects that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar, is sitting next to him, even though Howard denies it. Penny is feeling sick and runs to the toilet. Sheldon is worried that she has a stomach bug, but Amy figures that it's just air sickness. Penny comes back out and then runs back in. Sheldon goes to Leonard to complain about Penny and that he doesn't want to get sick on the greatest day of his life. Leonard assures Sheldon that he won't get what she has. And then Penny shows up and tells him that she is really pregnant as Leonard breaks into a big smile. Sheldon is happy that he won't get sick and shocks Leonard by just leaving. He goes back and tells Amy Penny is just pregnant, who is also flabbergasted. A very peeved Leonard goes back to Sheldon complaining that the woman who he has loved and cared for 12 years says she is pregnant, and all he cares about is not getting sick. Sheldon just takes it as a recap of what just happened. Amy isn't happy that Penny didn't tell her best friend, namely herself. Bernadette stops by, finds out, and calls that news fantastic while she is still being furious about being kept in the dark about it. First, Amy reminds her that she said she didn't want kids. Penny describes how it happened. She wanted to drink with Sheldon. Amy breaks in and asks if they are going to be sister wives. No, it's Leonard's baby. And then back to Sheldon. Leonard thinks that congratulations are in order. Sheldon reminds him that Penny didn't want any kids. Leonard explains that it happened anyway and that they didn't want to upstage their day in Stockholm. Sheldon reacts that this is the Nobel Prize and any idiot can have a baby, using Howard as an example. Angered by this, Leonard calls him a selfish jerk and to hell with him and his Nobel Prize. Raj pulled the ticket out of his neighbor, out of her purse, and finds out that it really is Sarah Michelle Gellar that's sitting next to him on the plane. Bernadette Skypes with Stewart, who sounds like he lost Hallie while playing hide and seek. It turns out that she also lost a tooth when she rolled down the stairs while giving Neil, who has a fever, his teddy bear. Howard and Bernadette look worried. Penny is eating everything, including pickled herring. Leonard is complaining that after all these years, Sheldon would for once consider other people's feelings. Someone is at the door, and Penny hopes that it's her salted cod. Instead, it's Sheldon, who apologizes and congratulates them on the baby news. Howard joins them and says that they are thinking of heading home since he and Bernadette are having a meltdown about their kids. Sheldon tells them to keep it together for his big day, which leads to Howard making up his mind and choosing to leave. Leonard and Penny are also with Howard on choosing to leave, further mad at Sheldon. And then Sheldon thinks that their friends are being incredibly selfish. Amy sarcastically tells him that he would be the authority on that. Sheldon can tell that the tone's insincere. Amy says the Nobel is never more important than their friends, who Sheldon says is abandoning them. Amy declares they're all leaving because he broke their hearts even if Sheldon didn't mean it, and that is the reason people tolerate him. Sheldon, taking it in, asks if it's true between himself and Amy, which she replies yes. Sheldon stands there looking and feeling ashamed, but takes his wife's words to heart. Penny is still sick from all the food she ate. She is in no shape to head home, and they both want to be there for Sheldon and Amy. Penny says that regardless of how nutty Sheldon can be, she still loves him very much. Leonard points out that he was like their practice kid. Penny likens him to the first pancake that turns out wonky. Leonard says that the university prefers quirky. Howard called and said that they are staying too. Her parents came over and took over for Stewart and Denise, with Leonard saying that Mike accidentally broke one of Stewart's ribs with a hug. And then at the Nobel Prize ceremony, both Sheldon and Amy are presented their medals on stage with the whole gang watching. The guys cheer, and Raj is seen having escorted Sarah Michelle Gellar as his guest, not his date, even though he was holding her hand, which she sheepishly releases after she points it out, or he does. In her acceptance speech, Amy says that what an honor it is to get the Nobel Prize, and tells young girls everywhere who are interested in science to go for it, as it's the greatest job in the world. Sheldon doesn't hear her and is still reflecting. After Amy gets his attention, he takes the stage. He first mentions his very long, self-centered speech, but he throws it away, much to the gang's delight. After momentarily looking surprised, Sheldon continues and says what an honor it is, and that he wouldn't be there without the most important people in his life, his family and his friends. He tells the audience he was under the misconception that his accomplishments were his alone, but came to realize that he had been encouraged, sustained, inspired, and tolerated by both his wife and the greatest group of friends anyone ever had. He has them stand up and introduces them, and even acknowledges Howard as an astronaut. Sheldon then calls Leonard and Penny his dearest friends in the world. Recalling when they first met, he tells the audience that Leonard said the two of them would have a smart and beautiful children, and since they are now expecting, he has no doubt that they would. Choking up, Penny thanks him, and even though her parents don't know yet, and he just inadvertently let the cat out of the bag. After apologizing and imploring the audience to keep the secret, he wraps up his speech by apologizing to his friends for not being the friend that they deserve, but in his own way, he loves them all, moving Penny to tears. He then includes that he loves his wife. Sheldon thanks everyone and gives Amy a kiss as the audience applauds. And then we have the last scene in The Big Bang Theory. Everyone is back at the apartment after the ceremony, eating takeout as they usually do, and enjoying others' company. Sheldon and Amy are still wearing their Nobel Prize medals, while Leonard and Penny kiss as Leonard places his hand on Penny's stomach. And then we have an acoustic version of the theme song slowly plays as the screen fades to black in the last second. A gentle ending to a saga that all started with a big bang. And that's a wrap. The Big Bang Theory finale. What a wild ride. I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10. And I did review a bunch of episodes of season 12 when they actually aired. And I remember being a little bit lukewarm on this episode. I thought it was good, but it wasn't a 10 out of 10. Rewatching it, I enjoyed it a lot more. These last two episodes were really good, but I know the show went on too long and the quality started to dip, but these last two episodes were pretty good. So my character of the episode, I have to give it to Sheldon, because Sheldon made a big change and put his friends before himself in this particular episode. And as many of you know, I've been rating Penny in all these episodes, because Penny is the reason why I started to watch The Big Bang Theory. And one of the reasons, along with Sheldon and Leonard, why I continued watching The Big Bang Theory when it initially aired. So for Penny in this one, even though she's pregnant, she's a 10 out of 10 for me. So you've heard everything that I have to say about The Big Bang Theory. Now, I know some of these reviews were long-winded, but, I wanted to point out some details. So if you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share this video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on the Big Bang Theory series finale. What would you rate the episode out of 10? And who would you choose as a character of the episode? And if you want to do what I do and rate Penny based on how Penny looks, you can definitely do that as well. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100,000 subscribers. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. I hope you've enjoyed these Big Bang Theory review videos, and you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.